Baltic vibes, fingerless gloves and full mitts. Technique, pattern and yarn used. Hello crocheters, Vitania here from the Hobbyist on the road. So today I would like to review my recent pattern, Baltic Vibes, fingerless gloves and full mitts. So first of all, I was inspired to create this pattern by looking through a lot of Lithuanian traditional weaving designs. Lithuanian because I'm Lithuanian, that's my heritage, and Lithuania is by the Baltic Sea, so I thought I'll just call it Baltic vibes because the other countries in that region also have similar kind of visual heritage. Also, I try to give this pattern a more kind of contemporary vibe. Normally, our traditional patterns, weaving patterns especially, they have this kind of either vertical or horizontal picture, but I thought turning the picture and having it slanting is a very nice way of just giving it a bit of interest. Now this pattern is created using mosaic crochet technique. If you've never done it before, I included a step-by-step picture tutorial in the pattern document. So and basically this technique, it's very simple, nothing complicated at all. It uses 4 basic crochet stitches, that's chain, slip stitch, single crochet and double crochet. And actually the pattern itself is created by using single crochet and double crochet and placing them in a specific way. Like I said, I included the tutorial in the document, so you don't have to go looking for any videos or any additional information in the internet. In mosaic crochet technique, we normally use 2 contrasting colors. It's possible to use more color combinations, but the more traditional one and the easiest way is just use 2 colors with big contrast. That way the picture stands out and sort of pops at you. Now the yarn that I used is Drops Flora, and it's 100% wool yarn. The weight of the yarn is it's 4-ply. It's also known as fingering, sock or baby wool. Now if you would like to use a different yarn that you have from different brand, you can also do that, of course, but if just check the yardage. Actually every label has the yardage information. Maybe you can't see it very well here, but basically just make sure, even if it's also a fingering yarn or 4-ply yarn, just check that the yardage is kind of the same, approximately the same. By the way, I have a short video on showing you how I use the yardage information on the label to substitute my yarns, and how I think about it, so as to have my gauge as close as possible to the one used in the pattern. And that technique always works, and it's very effective, and it's also pretty simple. So another thing that I like about this yarn, of course, it's fingering, so it's kind of light, it's thin, and it has that fuzzy sort of finish to it. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, maybe not very well, but basically this kind of a fuzzy finish, it gives that additional coziness and warmth to the final texture. It's also thin, light and very, very warm, the final fabric. Now it does have, because it's 100% wool, it does have a tiny bit of pinch on the skin, as wool would have. So say for example, if you are, if your skin is very sensitive, then just try and find, you know, just a mixed yarn, like with cotton, maybe wool with cotton or wool with acrylic, and that wouldn't have that tiny bit of pinch. But now it's nothing rough or anything, it's a very soft wool, so I'm not saying that there is an awful lot of pinch, but it's just for people who have very, very sensitive, you know, skin. So another thing to consider is different color combinations. So for example, my testers, they all went for totally different color combinations from mine. Like I use this very traditional, kind of very classic, I would say, you know, dark gray and cream. But if you've seen the pictures from my testers, they just went for different colors, and that creates a beautiful different vibe, different look altogether. So I think it's very interesting to see how the same pattern, just by using different colors, can just give a totally different feel to the garment. So I'm really excited to see what color combinations you will use and what yarn you will use and how you will style it and how you will wear it. One thing to consider that was totally unexpected for me, one of my testers, she took two pastel colors, so the contrast in the colors was very, you know, there wasn't a high contrast to the colors, and I was quite surprised actually how the finished garment looked. Actually, she tested either a hat or a cowl for me. It's also Baltic Vibes design, but I was so surprised to see how this pattern, the picture doesn't jump out at you as much actually, but actually it has that textured look. There is a kind of depth in the texture in the garment. So I thought that was very interesting and something to consider, let's say if I really wanted to go for something very monochrome and very, very subtle. So I hope you enjoyed this short review, and I hope you will try the Baltic Vibes fingerless gloves and full mitts pattern, and do tag Hobbyist on the road, whether it's Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, or on TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok now. So that you would show me how you took this pattern and made it your own. So have a very creative day.